Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Today we're going to talk about something awesome. It is the Grimm brothers, the men who wrote down some of the greatest fairy tales ever. Because of this, the brothers Grimm are a staple of popular culture. People see them and their stories in television, movies, and passing references. Their important contribution in recording these fairy tales have always been something that I recognized and appreciated. This is why I want to share with you the story of their lives today, and maybe you'll learn a few things that you didn't know before. The Grimm brothers, Jacob and Wilhelm, were born a year apart in the late 18th century. Their family was devoutly Christian in the Calvinist tradition, and it was to their faith that the men looked throughout their lives, especially in their political convictions, poverty, and the loss of friends and siblings by distance or death. The boys were always close companions, sharing lonely childhood years away from their close knit family while they attended boarding school. Both studied at the university level to become lawyers, but a love of research led them to work as librarians in Kassel so that they could support their widowed mother and siblings. It was during this time that they began the accumulation of fairy tales, using a combination of written sources and oral retellings. The brothers' opinions on fairy tales are articulated in their introduction to a work on legends. Quote, "The fairy tales are thus destined, partly because of their external distribution, and partly because of their innermost essences, to capture the pure thoughts of a childlike worldview. They nourish us directly like milk, mild and delicate, or like honey, sweet and satisfying, but without the burden of earthly gravity." But yet, admiration for the genre was not the sole reason behind their publications. The famous collection Kinder- und Hausmärchen was part of their lifelong endeavors to study and celebrate German literature, and hence the culture. This was partly in response to the French occupation of their land during the Napoleonic Wars. The first edition of Hausmärchen was published in 1812. They included famous fairy tales such as Snow White, Cinderella, Rumpelstiltskin, Hansel and Gretel, and Red Riding Hood. The compilation was constantly updated and revised, especially after there were concerns expressed by critics about the sexual nature of the tales. However, while this collection is the most famous of their works, the brothers published numerous volumes of other tales as well as writings on the German language itself. A work on German grammar and a German dictionary, for which they only got up to F, is hailed to be as influential in creating German as Martin Luther's translation of the Bible. Neither were their interests only for German lore. They also translated Irish and Scandinavian stories. Due to one writing achievement after another, the brothers received honorary doctorates, becoming professors and librarians at the University of Göttingen. Here they became part of the famous Göttingen Seven when they signed a written protest against the revocation of the Hanover Constitution of 1833. This revocation abolished the parliament. They refused an accompanying oath of allegiance and were fired. After their dismissal, they were given positions at the University of Berlin. Their personal lives were also connected. Wilhelm was married with several children, and lifelong bachelor Jacob made a home with his brother's family. Wilhelm died first in 1859, and Jacob followed 4 years later. They were buried next to each other and, ultimately being at heart humble men, only wished for these simple lines on their tombs: "Here lies Jacob Grimm," and "Here lies Wilhelm Grimm." Little did they know the vast influence they were to have on posterity. So there it is. That's all about the Brothers Grimm. Don't you love them? If you want to know more, I have a bibliography at the end of this video where you can see my works cited, a selected list of their works, and an acknowledgement of some friends who assisted me as I was translating the German texts. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think about the Brothers Grimm and the stories they put to paper or other aspects of their lives. And as always, let me know what I got right. Let me know what I got wrong. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, and be certain to pick up a book and read a fairy tale.